Welcome to Trades of the Week with myself and Keith Sullivan. Now, we're here today and we are going to give you some amazing updates on what's happening in the market, and not least how you can actually see exactly how you can track and then find out if the markets are falling or going up. So stay tuned. So tomorrow, Keith will actually host a completely free live Facebook Q&A. And what time is it, Keith?
It will be around 6 o'clock, but all the details will be in below.
All the details below is 6 o'clock. And what's really cool about this is that you can come and ask our experienced trader exactly the questions you have. So it can be about the strategies. How do you get started? How much money should you allocate? So whatever comes to mind. So prepare now, write down your questions, and then sign up below 6 p.m. tomorrow, UK time on Facebook. The link will be below. Just join the group, and when the time is right, Keith will just appear out of the blue on Facebook, which is going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. So that being said, let's dive into what's happened in the market now during the past week or so. So looking at a few of our tickers, we are still in TMCI, and we're currently slightly in a loss on that. TSN finally, but took us out at a 2% profit, which is nice, but we're gonna get to the but in a moment. But let's move for now and celebrate.
Moo!
Very, very good. And then we can go to, we're a bit in profit of Airbnb as well. And actually, I do think we should roughly be in 1% profit. Yeah, so what we would do here now, just because the market did turn a bit bullish yesterday and we're up 1%, we're moving the stop loss to break even. Okay, so move the stop loss to break even there. And then we have NVST. That was no trade. We thought this was going to go higher, but broke down instead. And that shows the importance of having a stop order. Very, very important. But then we had a very unfortunate, and I actually became a little bit emotional when I saw this, and even though we should not be emotional, but you see here that it went up, took us out, and then boom, came crashing down. And instead of being in profit, almost 1%, we are now in a loss and lost 1%. So I'd say boom. A lot of fun there. And Nvidia, a great company that we're in with a VCA. We did think was gonna be a good opportunity for a Buffalo as well, but it broke lower instead and took us out at a 1% loss. That's also a boom. So not a lot of fun there. So we get out of 3, 2 losses, 1 win, but the win actually covers the 2 losses. And that's what's so important, and that's why we have those strategies as well. And that's the whole intention here. So we need to make sure that we always only risk 1% and that we are gaining at least 3. That's our aim. And then, of course, it can be a bit less when we move up the stop loss. So that being said, before we jump into all the new ones, and by the way, comment below, were you in these and what result did you get? Did you also get the 2% in TSN? And did you stick to the strategy and didn't remove your stop loss in order to get those 2 losses as well? Either you earn or you learn. And now we have learned a bit this past week. So Keith, what is happening in the market?
So in regards to the market, it's really the same old story, which is coming down to inflation and interest rates. So Jeremy Powell, in the chair of the Fed, he's come out and said we really need to now be on top of inflation and increase interest rates. So rate hikes a lot quicker than we expected. Now, what has that done? It's caused a bit more fear coming into the market, because looking at back in 2021, we expected the Federal Reserve to stop stimulus packages or slow it down, and then also begin to increase interest rates. But they held it off until a point of potential no return, because the Bank of America, as they said, inflation could be the kickstart for a recession in America. And now the Federal Reserve are really trying to jump on top of this with the increase of interest rates to then neutralize how quick inflation is increasing. So that's the first thing. And remember, with an increase in interest rates, what naturally happens is money is not being spent, it's being saved. And we see a shrinking in economy, and we also see a bit of a bearish move in regards to the stock market as well. So that's number one. Now, if you look at the stock market when it comes to fear and greed, we are actually currently in a fearful market. Now, it's just, ticked over to being fearful over the last couple of days, and this is because of what happened last week with the Federal Reserve announcements. So that's the first thing. Now, naturally, when there is fear in the market, one of two things is naturally going to happen with institutions. Number one, they sell out of equities and they put money into commodities, or number two, they sell out the equity and they hold it as cash, as a cash reserve. So if we look at the US 30, for example, which is the 30 largest companies in the US, as you can see here, we are seeing a decrease in the equity, okay, a decrease in the index price, which means people are selling into the market. Now, are we going to say we are bearish? No, not yet. The reason for that is because we've still got a good level of demand or support around the 30, what would you say, Dennis? The 33,000 mark. Around that.
32,300 to 33,000, yeah.
Perfect. So we're seeing that there's a oscillation between these two prices. Now, if we dip lower than this, we could expect a bit more of a drop in the market. Because remember, the US 30, the 30 largest companies, actually dictates what the overall market does. So if the US 30 is falling, we then naturally see our NASDAQ begin to fall. So the 100 largest companies, we then see the S&P 500 begin to fall. So it's just a snowball effect. Now, this isn't to scare you, okay? We're never fearful. Are you fearful of a falling market, Dennis?
No, I am emotionless. I don't have any emotions. On the contrary, what we're seeing, well, let's see if this plays out, but is actually a bullish pattern. And we saw a good reversal from that yesterday. So we're looking for that to be broken. So maybe we'll see. Currently, we're in no man's land. We're trading below these two levels. So there's no reason to neither be bullish or bearish. But I do tend to be a bit more bullish when the rest of the market is bearish. That's just naturally my reaction. Because if everyone is bearish, maybe I should be a little bit more bullish. Obviously, using a strategy.
That's it. And with this falling market, it's just a great opportunity, especially with our VCA strategy, to be buying into stocks as they begin to fall. Okay, so don't be scared of this. If we see that the index are falling, then just be on the right side of the fence. Know what you need to do with the investment strategy. So, as I say, the market's going to do one of two things. Money is going to flow into commodities or it's going to flow into the dollar. So if we look at gold and silver, for example, we are not seeing the actual gold price increasing. On the other side, we're actually seeing it begin to decrease a bit. And the same with silver. We are seeing silver also beginning to decrease. So that is showing us that money is not actually flowing into commodities. And Dennis, if you go over to the DXY, which is the dollar index, and we're going to get a shock here. As you can see with the dollar index, since the overall market has been falling, what is happening with the dollar index? It has been steadily increasing, showing us that there is a bit more uncertainty in the market, where institutions are more reluctant to put money into commodities at the minute, so they're holding it as cash reserves. Okay, and this is naturally what we want to see, because then we know, okay, when there's a bit more stability in the market, where is that money then going to flow back out to? Is it going to flow back into our equities, or is it going to flow back into our commodities? And unfortunately, we don't have that crystal ball to really know. But we just need to understand, okay, money is being held as dollars. We may see a bit more of a further drop in the equity market, and also a good opportunity to invest into gold, silver, and oil. So that's the first little bit. The other bits of news, nothing really major coming out. Number one, earnings period is still going on. Obviously, we had it for our financial companies a few weeks ago. Now we've got it for our technology companies, our Apples, our Amazons, our Microsofts, our Metas. So we have earnings coming up. So please be careful if you are trading Buffalo near earnings periods, because we don't want to be caught out with a gap. And then the last thing, just recapping on what we spoke about last week in regards to the poison pill with Twitter. They took a massive U-turn. 7 days can make such a difference, and they've taken a massive U-turn. And they were last night considering the offer that Elon Musk was making, because they knew he was good for the money. And as soon as we finished our Monday night webinar at 8 o'clock, the news came in that the 46 billion deal has been accepted. Okay, so now we just need to know, what is Elon Musk actually going to be doing with Twitter? Is he going to be, utilizing it as an asset? Is he going to be using it as another revenue stream? Where is the money coming from? There's so many unanswered questions. Now, if the money is coming from the equity of Tesla, for example, so he's using that to then finance the deal, we could see Tesla have a bit of a drop. Why? Because short-term debt increases. But longer term, it's really good for Tesla because it's an asset on their book. It's something that is generating them money. So just be aware of that. If he's using Tesla's equity, then we may see Tesla have a bit of a drop. If he's using his own physical cash reserves, then there'll be no real impact, and we could look at Twitter as a good investment. So that is basically the news in regards to the stock market, Dennis. Took a bit more time, so apologies for that. But any update from yourself?
No, but and that would be very interesting to see, of course, how that plays out. And as you can see with the Twitter price, it is reflected a bit that they made the bid and now it's gone through. So we have to see what the action will be today. I would, since it went through after the market closed, I would think we're going to go higher here as well. Mm-hmm. But no, not really any other updates, more than it's always great to be hedged, right? When everyone's fearful, we are absolutely using our strategies and investing with the VCA strategy. But to speak, we're going to come to that in a moment. Currently, we have 3 good opportunities for you. They are close to earnings, so make sure you do your own research there. Might be worth waiting a couple of days until the earnings are done. But we have a good reward risk ratio on Pfizer. Pfizer, we know with the vaccines and everything, really rallied, but now they're down, and we saw a good reversal in the market yesterday as well, and Pfizer then went higher also. So Pfizer might be a good one. The next one is MBIA Inc. And we have a nice green candle. I love those candles. Those are reversal candles, but they will go with the overall market. It's just really important to understand that. So this will move with the overall market. So if we see a further drop in the market, these are likely to drop as well. But what I like about this, as previously we've seen very quick reversals a lot higher. So hopefully we see something similar this time around as well. Same there, earnings are the 9th of May, so a few days to earnings there. But I think with our reward risk ratio, for every 100 we're risking here, we can make 659, so 6.59 times more than we're risking. And the last one is a downward trending, just to make sure we're hedged here. So this one here is SNCY. And currently the same here, earnings are coming along. It did drop down yesterday and went below our entries. We're in this, but closed just around the entry price. So might be a good one to have a look at. And I do think that that hopefully this will go down as well and follow the trend. So 2 long ones and 1 short one. And moving on to the crypto side of things, I am actually I'm secretly bullish on cryptos for many reasons. Number one, I've listened a lot to both YouTube, also read a lot of both articles, and just did a lot of research basically, because that's what we of course do a lot. And what the research suggests is a couple of things. Now, number one, we have Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. He is saying that, and this is true of course, that they've actually in US they have submitted a document that says that stable coins should be regulated and more legit and more accepted in the world, but US predominantly. So what they do basically to ensure that the US dollar is legit, they check it on a regular basis. So they make sure they audit it to make sure, okay, so this actually has the value it's supposed to have. And the problem with stable coins is that they haven't really been a way to check it. But what they're going to do is going to say, all right, so let's look at this stable coin. Okay, there's 100 million of those coins. Then that needs to be backed by 100 million US dollars, for example. It's just a digital way to do it. So it's going to be cheaper, faster, and more effective. And that is all happening. It's just a matter of time. And around the world, for example, in Canada, they are actually already have created Bitcoin ETFs. So they're a lot more crypto friendly there. So US is falling behind a bit, and US is one of the leading nations there. And one former Goldman Sachs executive, Raoul Pal, he actually said that now he's working closely with institutions, and they are slowly, hedge funds, pension funds, institutions, they are slowly opening their doors now and putting assets into cryptos. Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, they have actually allocated 20% of their holdings into assets such as Bitcoin, such as Ethereum, Solana, Avalanche, Matic, among others. So it's just a matter of time, we believe, before the markets start to rally. And who knows how big it's going to be? Some people say there's going to be the 12th sector in the I think it was the S&P 500. So the 500 biggest companies in the world, but they're going to add cryptos to that sector as well. So looking at Bitcoin currently, we saw a big reversal. The market was down 4% yesterday, but currently we're sitting on the support. And if you are looking at getting into Bitcoin from the highest point, it's actually down quite a bit. So it's down roughly 41% from its high. We're using the CCA strategy here. And not only that, we are seeing that we are sitting at fear. We was extreme fear yesterday. So great opportunity to be investing, we believe. And in the short term, yes, it can fall down more. Of course, we don't know. Keith has not got a refund yet or a new crystal ball. But we are looking at getting that, of course. And same with Solana, really big and good asset. And a lot of these are down so much. And we are actually in Solana again, so it's down roughly 61% from the high. So do make sure you have a look at that as well. And there is one coin we're adding today, but look over your positions. There's some really good ones here. Everything from Terra Luna that's rallied a little bit. So we're actually in profit from our last entry point, 20% up. But even the coins such as Matic, which is down 55%. So we actually should have another entry here. So we're adding that at 53%. Depending, no, we're using the small cap strategy on this, I think. So no, we're going to wait for the 75% drop on this, I think. Really, we entered the 25, then the 15 and the 75. So perhaps the next entry here, but do your own research here. So a lot of these assets are down a lot. And I think like when we then see, for example, the dollars coming up to resistance, the DXY that Keith said, that might be going down after that, right? So everything goes up and goes down. So maybe we have been in a shorter term correction in cryptos, and maybe now the new bull market will be ignited. I think it can be ignited for two reasons. Number one, they released Ethereum 2.0. Ethereum is one of the biggest networks, and I think that when they release the upgrade, it's going to mean a lot to the to the ecosystem and for the whole crypto market. Number two, I believe when they, and it's going to be in July, by the way, because Grayscale, they have actually said that they have applied to get a spot Bitcoin ETF that really tracks the price approved by the SEC, and they're going to get that in July. So maybe around summertime, then the market will turn positive again. And it's just 1 or 2 months away. So we really have time to accumulate here as well with strategies, of course. So that was two reasons. And number three, the stable coin as well. If that gets approved, and I think it's just a matter of time before it will get approved, then I think that's going to trigger the market higher as well. So the one coin we're adding today is actually HBAR or Hedera Hashgraph. It's down 68% from the high. It's a great project, and many said it was going to be the blockchain killer. They have a partnership with Google, and any other news there around HBAR and Hedera Hashgraph, Keith, that is worth mentioning.
Yeah, so just in regards to HBAR, for some reason or not, it's been favored a lot by the institutions as well in regards to the blockchain, in regards to the project itself. So I think it's getting a lot of social exposure. Remember, social sentiment is the key driving force of short-term movements. So the more exposure this gets, positive exposure, we can then see a lot more adoption. And the fact that it's in institutions' view site, it's a great talking point, and it's a great indication of, okay, this might be good alongside with its project, alongside with the team, and also the partnerships that it's got. This has real potential in the future.
I agree, absolutely. So that's really the crypto update for today. We're still very bullish. Ignore the noise in the shorter term and focus on the longer term. So what are you doing? Comment below in the chat. What are you doing? What actions are you taking at the moment? And there's a few actions to take care as well. We have now moved the stop loss on the VCA. We moved from cryptos back to stocks to the VCA strategy. So we're up 10%. We're moving the stop loss to plus 10% on Johnson & Johnson. Just created a fresh all-time high yesterday, which is interesting to see as well, that these really big companies can do that. And then we have Pinterest with a new entry, minus 70%. So we're adding another entry to Pinterest. Good fundamentals. We believe it's just a matter of time before they turn as well. I mean, the market has really been falling. Some would call this a bear market, by the way. And then the last, but by no means least, we're adding a new one today, which is Home Depot. So Home Depot, minus 28%. We're adding it just as a first entry. Is one of the biggest really home improvement stores in the United States. So it's a super big company, has super many different products as well. And I think being down 28%, I think just a matter of time. They have great expectations over the next couple of years, good return on investment, return on assets, return on equity, and being down 28%, I think it's going to be a good first entry. Very good. So that's really the VCA there. So anything you want to add before we go on to the very exciting subject and looking at their results? Anything to add there, Keith?
No, so the only thing I would really add is, obviously, as Dennis said, really don't pay attention to the noise. The strategies that we use here in Investor Mastery take into consideration this type of noise and these type of movements if the market does fall. So just follow the strategy, have faith in the strategies. Last time, I don't know if we've said this, but last time in 2018 when we saw the Bitcoin drop, people stopped investing and then all of a sudden the market recovered over a couple of thousand%, right? This is the time to accumulate. Don't worry about noise, don't get into FOMO, follow the strategies, and then reap the rewards when the market does recover.
Absolutely. 100%. So, jumping over to something completely different, and that is the Le Résultat. And I'm not sure why I'm so excited, because the results in themselves are not overly exciting today. As we can see, we have no difference because we made 2% on Buffalo and lost 2%, and that's just the case, and that's how it can be. And currently, we have moved the stop loss, so we have locked some profits in on the VCA and getting into some more positions. So now it's just to be patient. Money will move from the impatient to the patient every single time. From the impatient to the patient, I hope I said. So yeah, so make sure you are one of the patient one, and we will update you ongoingly here on these sessions, so to make sure you're up to date and you know what actions to take, so you don't act on your emotions, that you can kind of look at how we're doing it, and also, of course, do your own research, but use strategies that actually work as well. So with that being said, that's really trades of the week for this week. And do make sure, by the way, that you join in on the Facebook Live tomorrow with Keith at 6 p.m. It's going to be amazing. Ask any questions you want, completely free. And of course, press the link below to sign up and join the Facebook group, so you're ready for it. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. We hope you enjoyed the video. So make sure you hit that like button if you did. That's really going to help with the YouTube algorithm. And not only that, comment below if you enjoyed this, or if you would like to see anything different, comment that below as well, so we can support you. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to get these updates regularly. Do make sure you hit that alarm bell as well, so you get notifications whenever there's a new video, so you are the first to get to know what we're getting into and out of, and so you don't miss out on anything. So do make sure you do that. And with that being said, we wish you a wonderful trading week. And from myself, Keith, and the whole team, have an amazing week, and we look forward to seeing you in the next trades of the week.